to say teacher is Adito was now 247 out of 250.
Actually, it's 248. Bro is laughing now. But I tell it, he couldn't even spell a simple word like nikumbum. Spelling nikumbum.
Kunyomalize. I'm going to have a lot of children with a lot of women.
Hii kazi yote ni pesa ngapi?
Yote ni 1000. Sawa. Kama nikaenda imoja. Mimi nimeweka migoja. Afala kuropo.
Ay. Magia.
Mulipata napi na jemedari?
Baesa. Kwa ba.
Ukitaka msichana mzuri, enda mashambani. Umlete, alafu umfunze venye ataka, venye unataka wewe.
Maiko waivapa, yuko na idea ingine kali.
Kwa hivyo nyinyi mmekaa chini, mkaanza kunilinganisha na wanaume wengine.
Hapana.
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. You are in time for the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Irene Mchuma Odem. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Parents in Migori have expressed their dissatisfaction with the recently released bans for tuition loans and scholarships by the Higher Education Loans Board, HELB. According to the parents, the testing instruments are flawed and unfair, noting placement of bans is not reflective of family incomes and students' needs. The parents say if the system is not relooked at, highest education in the country will only be a preserve of the rich.
My son has passed the KCC with a grade A, and he was dreaming to do the medical of surgery, the faculty of medicine surgery, and he was called in the University of Nairobi. But because of the category of the bands that has been, where he has been put, he is put in the category of the rich people, where they are saying that those people who are earning 120,000 in monthly, but yet we are not even getting kind of that money because I'm not employed. I'm just relying on a peasant farming. So I'm asking the government that they should review those funding or the categories there. They place those students, because you are now going to kill the dreams of those students who have worked very hard, and mostly they are coming from poor family.
Kilifi North Member of Parliament Owen Baya has affirmed that the United Democratic Alliance, UADA, is ready to reclaim the Migori parliamentary seat in the long-awaited by-election. The seat became vacant after the Supreme Court nullified the election of ODM's Harrison Kombe in May due to electoral malpractice. The legislator, who also doubles up as the deputy leader of the majority in the National Assembly, revealed that UDA party has endorsed Stanley Kenga as their preferred candidate and emphasized that UDA party is fully prepared for the ballot. Baya further revealed that UDA is currently in the negotiation stage with ODM, expressing optimism that ODM will allow UDA to secure the seat given the cordial relations between ODM and the government.
This time I also want to tell watu wa ODM that kwa sababu sasa tumekubaliana maneno kidogo kidogo that ODM will allow UDA to take the Migori seat, so that the balance. We will allow them to take Opio Wandai's seat. They allow us to take Migori.
A section of the clergy in Kakamega County have cautioned the government against reintroducing some clauses of the rejected 2024 finance bill to Parliament for reconsideration. Speaking in Kakamega, the clergy warned that if the process is not properly thought through and public participation inadequate, it is likely to spark nationwide protests. The caution comes amid remarks from a section of government officials that some clauses which are beneficial to the public might be reintroduced.
Haufai kurejeshwa bungeni bila kupitia kwa mwananchi wa kawaida. Kwanza mwananchi ahusishwe, au angalie ule mswada. Maana yeye ndo anaumia. Mlipa ushuru ahusishwe kwenye ule mswada.
Ya kwamba wacha tufate sheria. Wacha tusitumie nguvu na kifua ya kwamba sasa sisi tuliokuwa opposition tumeingia serikali ya kwamba tutafanya mambo jinsi tunavyotaka. Tulisema huu mswada hatutaki na ukatupiliwa mbali. Na tunasema ya kwamba kuanzia leo hatukubali ya kwamba huu mswada utumie mbinu nyingine kurudishwa katika serikali ama kurudishwa katika wananchi. Kwa sababu hiyo ushuru ndio unatuua sisi.
The county government of Embu has attributed the expiration of drugs amounting to 7.9 million shillings at Embu Level 5 Hospital to the COVID-19 pandemic. County Finance and Economic Planning Professor Joe Kamaria, who spoke amid sharp criticism facing the current administration over the expiration of the drugs, said the drugs in question expired in 2017, way before the current governor assumed office. Consequently, Kamaria stated that a committee has been constituted to ensure the expired drugs do not find their way to the public.
Drugs that the Auditor General mentioned or drugs that related to the period 2022 backward, some go back as far as 2012. Therefore, we can say that during the reign of Our Excellency the Governor, we do not have drugs that we have procured that have expired. You're aware that during COVID, the operations at all the facilities was quite low. And then when COVID hit, it also meant that we also had commodities in our stores. And therefore, the sheer decline in the operations in the facilities also meant that there was low usage of the drugs that we had in store, and that also contributed to expiration of the drugs that we have in store.
Over 250 orphans and widows in Wundanyi sub-county in Taveta County are set to receive support from well-wishers to meet their basic needs. The county's Deputy Governor Christine Kilalo also pledged to support them with payment of school fees. The orphans who continue to live in their respective homes owing to lack of children's homes were assisted through a community initiative that saw them receive food, clothing and facilities for entertainment.
Tunawashika mkono ili waendelee kuwashika mkono nyinyi. Kwa hivyo tutaendelea kuja tusikie yale wanasema, wana nia ya kujenga rescue center for Wundanyi, ambapo Wundanyi kwa sasa haina. Kwa hivyo watoto ambao wanahitaji rescue wanapelekwa kwingine.
Persons displaced by post-election violence in Western Nyanza are calling on the government to expedite release of compensation funds to them, saying their families are struggling to get by. Through the IDP's caucus officials, they say food, housing and healthcare has become a luxury for their families, making their lives almost unbearable. The caucus distributed beddings, foodstuffs and detergent to the IDPs in Nyaribari, Masaba and another batch in Suna West, Migori County.
Western Kenya caucus wametuletea mattress leo na kitanda na chakula, tunashukuru sana. Na ingine tunasema tunahitaji usaidizi kutoka kwa serikali itusaidie, kwa sababu kama sisi IDPs Tumekaa muda mrefu sana, miaka mingi bila usaidizi yoyote.
Serikali ifanye mipango itusaidie pesa tuende kujenga tukae.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. We are taking our first commercial break. We'll be back with more, including news making headlines in the world of business and sports. Stay with us.
Mtazamaji, tumekuandalia taarifa zinazogonga vichwa vya vyombo vya habari kutoka hapa jijini Nairobi na pia mashinani.
Wanahabari zaidi ya ubora wao wako ange kukuletea habari pindi zinapochipuka kutoka pembe zote za Kenya.
Kwenye kipindi cha Tamrini tunakuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja kufafanua na kuangazia masuala yanayokuhusu wewe mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, taarifa yenye thamani daima hupokewa kwa amani.
Hivyo basi usikose kuungana nasi kila siku ya wiki.
Tukupakulie na tukutaarifu taarifa yenye mnato kwenye runinga unayoienzi. Kwenye kurunzi mashinani,
sisi DC.
Alikuwa amechukua steering wheel na kiti ya mbele, yani kiti ya driver.
Ilikuwa ni kaa ya nani? Gari nani?
Ilikuwa na gari ya wewe mama Mwende.
Mlikuwa hapo nikiwapelekea?
Hapana.
Alafu na mbona unaongea vitu uchui?
Lakini oni wewe iko pale
ne. Turaena au toka hapo pana usindelee.
Kwa nini iko?
Sasa huyu ukimwongelesha lugha yako anaelewa.
For your information, mimi sina gari.
Very good. Kwa nini unaleta chiherere hapa? Why?
Chiherere? Footage inaonyesha vizuri wewe tu vile aliingia ndani ya gari. Akangangara, akatoa, akafunga. Alafu anamwambia mimi ni cherere.
Mimi ulisikia mimi ndio nimeiba hiyo kiti na nimeiba hiyo steering.
Kulingana na ule mama ambaye mlikuwa mnavunja sheria na yeye unamwekea gari.
Kumbe wewe ulikuwa na sitaki story.
Nini?
Jibu swali yangu.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Thank you for keeping it KBC Channel 1. Welcome back. Now, a family in Malava, Kakamega County, is crying for justice after their kin was killed following a land dispute. The family, which has been forced to flee their home and seek shelter from Malava County Hospital, is now calling for the arrest of the murder suspect. Also, 5 Machakos County government workers have denied charges of stealing assorted medicine from 2 separate public health facilities within Masinga sub-county in Machakos County. This and more in the news making headlines from around the counties.
The family of Esther Shikuku in Malava, Kakamega County is distressed following the murder of her husband Francis Shikuku and his brother in a land dispute. Her son is also recuperating at the hospital after he was injured during the land feud. The family has sought refuge at the Malava County Hospital.
Wachashika mtu hata yoyote, hata mmoja mwenye aliua akimalizia my brother-in-law na kisu hapa. Bata anatembea hata wakati tuliteremka huko na mapolisi. Tunamuona hivi na macho anatembea.
676.
Elsewhere, 5 Machakos County government workers have denied the charges of stealing assorted medicine in a Kithimani court, Machakos County. Mathenge Ndungi, Pauline Kiura, Benson Chuma, Benson Mutinda and John Wambua were released on 100,000 shillings bond or a cash bail of 50,000 shillings each.
Kulingana na list ya ambayo iko hapa mbele ya koti, ukiwa umeweka mali ya wizi kinyume na sheria. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
And The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is investigating how public land, which is part of 165 acres belonging to the Agricultural Training Center in Nakuru, was advertised for auction by private entities. Elsewhere, Kericho County Woman Representative Beatrice Kemei has led demonstrations in Kericho town over the alleged increase in cases of gender-based violence in the area.
We have so many early pregnancies. We have great cases of gender-based violence which have not been addressed.
Further in Kisii County, the Affordable Housing and Economic Stimulus Market projects, recently launched by President William Ruto at a total cost of 2.1 billion shillings, is expected to benefit the area residents.
Focus yetu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba hizi projects zinathamini na zinawekeza employment kwa vijana wetu hapa Kisii.
Finally, Migori County has inaugurated its first government-owned cancer center at the Migori Referral Hospital. The new facility was officially opened by Migori County Governor Ochilo Ayako.
These facilities are equipped both with hardware, software, and more importantly, professionals who will offer state-of-the-art and high-quality services, medical services.
Traders in Isiolo are calling on the county government to accelerate the construction of a modern 3-story market aimed at relocating them from the roadside and enhance their safety while conducting their business. Chairperson of the Isiolo Market Traders Association, James Gitonga, highlighted the significant risks they face from potential vehicle accidents along the busy streets where they currently operate.
Itumiwa na njia inafaa kwa sababu itafaidi kaunti na hata sisi wananchi wa Isiolo tutafaidika. Kwa hivyo nyumba ikitumika vizuri, in fact kaunti itapata revenue ya kutosha na hata sisi wananchi tutapata pesa mahali hapa kwa sababu ni nyumba imejengwa vizuri. Lakini kama itakuwa hapa watu wakwe kwa barabara itakuwa useless. Kaunti ipange vizuri barabara, watu waondoka kwa barabara. Mnaona watu wanavunga barabara, hata wengine wanatandika kwa lami juu, especially jioni. Please, naomba hiyo mambo, hii soko ikifunguliwa wale wanaingia, hizo soda ziondolewe, soko ibaki hii.
Students brought out fashion, creativity and talent at the 96th edition of the annual Kenya Music Festival held in Uasin Gishu County. The climax was at the Eldoret State House Lodge, where different performances that emerged the best from different categories were presented before President William Ruto. Jacqueline Mashario brings us the highlights in today's segment, Cinemas and Theatres.
Kenya Music Festival 2024 was themed Talent Development for Growth of the Creative Economy. A reflection of the nation's commitment to nurturing the creative potential of its youth as a cornerstone for future economic growth. The grand finale that was held at the Eldoret State Lodge saw participants showcase a diverse array of performances, including music, dance, and elocution.
Together, like sausages, some forced to sit on empty space, fathers sitting on their daughters, full of distress calls and messages, from strangers they come.
reflecting the vibrant and rich cultural heritage of Kenya.
Look at the cupcakes I baked. They're delicious, like mommy's.
From pupils in junior school
Fine like mine. Look, I painted my car. Unlike that, I got it singing so.
to performances from special schools like Joytown Special School from Embu County,
And all his family had a house. E-I-E-I-O.
all to show inclusivity in the festivals.
The people on the bus say bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye.
Different performances were also witnessed from different high schools that presented different cultures and talents. An example was a performance by Sinende Boys High School from Vihiga, performing Azilizopendwa music with live instruments. The event culminated in presentation of different awards to schools, with the Best Primary School Award going to Lukenya Academy.
Best Primary School, Lukenya Academy.
Best Junior Secondary School Award went to Moi Forces Academy, while Sirisio Special School was awarded the Best Pre-Vocational Institution. President William Ruto, who hosted this year's Music Festival State Concert at the Eldoret State Lodge, said it was time the annual showpiece gained international attraction for sustainable growth.
We recognize the creative economy as a pillar of our national economic transformation, and the Kenya Music Festival is a vital component in this endeavor. From vocal and instrumental music to traditional and contemporary dances, and from scripting to public speaking, this festival has demonstrated its enduring legacy in developing a broad range of creative talents.
The President further directed that at least 80% of royalties collection be distributed to artists in the bid to monetize and grow the creative industry. Jacqueline Mashara for Cinemas and Theatre.
Thank you for keeping it KBC Channel 1. In business, NCBA Group has reported 9.8 billion shillings in first half net profit, representing a 5.4% increase that was driven by improved operating income and a robust services sector. The lender has proposed an interim dividend payout of 2 shillings and 25 cents per share.
NCBA Group increased customer loans by 5.9% to 309.7 billion shillings. From this, the lender booked 38.1 billion shillings in interest income, up from 30.8 billion shillings. In addition, non-interest income rose 7.9% to 14.9 billion shillings. These earned the NCBA Group 9.8 billion shillings in net profit.
Subsidiary contribution, this was a conversation we had, if you recall, at the end of the year. We continue to grow that contribution. Today has improved to 19%. So you're really showing the diversification of our business.
Unlike other industry players, NCBA Group says its gross non-performing loans reduced by 4.1% to 40.9 billion shillings.
Interests are too high. We tend to obviously not get enough businesses borrowing. We tend to lend more to government, which is true, which is not good for the long-term sustainability of our business. So again, it's one of those things that whenever I read headlines or other people talk about the fact that banks enjoy when interests are high, I say, actually, you have no idea that this is the worst that can happen to us, because it means next year we're suffering if we don't have businesses that are doing well.
The listed firm has recommended an interim dividend payout of 2 shillings and 25 cents, which is 50 cents more than what was proposed during a similar period last year.
Digital business in Kenya, which represents Mshwari and Fuliza, has almost $1 billion increase in profitability over last year. When John put up the slide on volumes across the region are only up 4% to about 478 billion of disbursements.
Gashura says NCBA Group's assets have increased 4.4% to 689.1 billion shillings. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
All right, let's cross over to an environmental forum of Africa Green Climate Finance's National Designated Authorities Network, AFDAN, that is happening right now, and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is currently speaking. Let's cross over and listen in.
Climate change, and we just like a stuck gramophone. You know, it go down and round and round because it's the same language we speak year in, year out. But maybe that is a subject for later. For now, I just want to say that it's my pleasure to be part of this great and noble occasion, where Africa sits with partners through the platform of African Green Climate Finance's Designated National Authorities Network to discuss climate change and how to respond through accelerated access to climate change, climate finance. We are here to exchange ideas on a common problem, the view to develop a common approach and a common solution. I take note that AFDAN has been established to enhance mobility of climate finance, make it more readily accessible to support Africa in enhancing adaptive capacity and building resilience of our people, both in the rural and urban setups through locally led solutions. I'm aware that AFDAN is already recognized by the Committee of African Heads of States and the government on climate change. This gives it the right leverage to undertake its role. Climate finance has been here with us, but access to the finances remains the biggest challenges in responding to climate change. I said that will sound like a stuck gramophone record. Because as you know, I was in COP15 in Copenhagen. I was in COP16 in Cancun, in Mexico. I was in Maputo. I was in Paris.
Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga advocating for efforts in the fight against effects of climate change. This is during a forum of Africa Green Climate Finance's National Designated Authorities Network, AFDAN, that is happening right now at a Nairobi hotel. We have Werimunjenga on the ground. Be sure to catch up with her for more details in our subsequent bulletins. In other news this afternoon, Absa Bank Kenya is targeting to increase its network of agency banking outlets from the current 600 to 17,000 in 2 years to enhance access to essential financial services. Absa Bank Kenya Managing Director Abdi Mohammed says the robust agency banking model will not only drive efficiency in the business, empower individuals and businesses to thrive, but also contribute to the growth of the economy.
This is part of a wider strategy where we look at digital, we look at our branch network, we look at the ATM network, and the agency network complements our presence in the country. It's important for all our customers, it's important for our personal customers, it's important for the SMEs that we bank, and Absa has a very, very important focus on the SME sector.
Last year, we launched our CDMs, cash deposit machines, that provide you with 24/7 banking. So you don't have to rush to a branch.
Investors who acquire land in any of the 38 special economic zones will have 6 months to start setting up, failure to which their licenses will be revoked. Investments, Trade and Industry Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya is accusing some investors of holding land in special economic zones for speculation purposes, looking out other potential investors.
There have been a concern that some investors take too long to set up after securing or rely upon approval and documentations. This, however, prompted the government to introduce measures aimed at compelling investors to move with the speed to set up once they secure their approval. Investment, Trade and Industry Cabinet Secretary is concerned some investors who allocated land in Special Economic Zone, such as 5,000-acre Maimayo Special Economic Zone, are yet to break grounds years after being licensed.
We are doing this because we have really been putting a lot of incentives to ensure that we attract investors, including making sure that they have cheap power. You know, so we cannot hold.
He says 11 investors have been licensed to set up at Maimayo Special Economic Zone.
We have a lineup of around 19 companies who have already submitted their applications. 11 of them have already been cleared, and now they are processing to come to the ground. So this is a very, very unique opportunity for our country.
Mvurya was speaking in Maimayo during the groundbreaking of 365 million shilling crystal potatoes processing plan that on completion is expected to employ 350 workers.
They get involved. Kila mtu ndio kusambaza hiyo makazi itapatikana, may it be business, may it be employment, may it be whatever, so that it is well coordinated.
Business in Special Economic Zone enjoy initiatives such as cheaper electricity and lower taxes. Felix Q for Lunchtime News.
KCB Group made 29.9 billion shillings in net profit during the first 6 months of this year, representing an 86% increase that was powered by higher interest and non-interest income. The lender has proposed an interim dividend payout of 1 shilling and 50 cents per share.
KCB Group increased its loans and advances to customers from 964.8 billion shillings to 1.03 trillion shillings. From this, the lender made 69.2 billion shillings in interest income from loans and advances. In addition, the group booked another 25.5 billion shillings in interest income from its stock of 164.2 billion shillings investment in government securities. In total, interest income grew from 70.1 billion shillings to 97.4 billion shillings.
As we continue to expand, our operational resilience remains a cornerstone of the growth and expansion strategies. It has allowed us adapt swiftly to economic shifts, maintain service excellence during organic growth, and manage risks effectively.
See strong GDP growth across the region. You know, there is rebound on agriculture. I think we're still enjoying the value of the improved weather and rains. A strong rebound in tourism and services sector. We've seen growth in South Sudan, Uganda, and Tanzania in 2024.
On the other hand, the increased lending saw gross non-performing loans and advances hit 212.1 billion shillings from 182 billion shillings a year ago. KCB Group attributes the increase to movements in foreign currency-dominated loans. This prompted KCB Group to steadily increase its loans provision from 51.2 billion shillings to 69.2 billion shillings. After the 86% increase in net profit, the lender has recommended an interim dividend payout of 1 shilling and 50 cents per share, payable in October this year.
And based on that performance, the board has recommended an interim dividend of 1 shilling 50, amounting to 4.8.
Overall, the group's total assets have increased from 1.86 trillion shillings to 1.98 trillion shillings. Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
Government is exploring corporate recovery, restructuring and rescue mechanisms to support distressed companies secure strategic investors. Investment Promotion Principal Secretary Abubakar Hassan says plans are underway to merge export processing zone and special economic zone programs to enhance efficiency. Abubakar made the remarks during an earlier interview with Regina Manyara, and this is how the conversation went.
Before we get into matters of EPZ and SCZ, sir, just give us an outlook of how investment and the trade environment has been thus far.
Most importantly, on the issue of startup, we have been rated number one in Africa in terms of startup funding. Yeah, we've been able to attract $800 million to support our startups. So in my assessment, I think it has been very positive. And we are looking forward to be better. Because my State Department's mandate or goal is to increase the level of private investment into the Kenyan economy, either domestic or foreign, either by attracting new or expanding the existing one. And the tools which have been given to attract these investments, one of the tools is incentivized economic zones. So these are an incentivized economic zone can be either an export processing zones or special economic zone, attracting industrial investment or otherwise, which is export oriented or otherwise, so that we can meet the impact area of our economic transformation agenda.
With this particular planned merger then, do you think it's going to give impetus to increase efficiency and effectiveness of this particular trade investment wheels?
I think the cabinet has approved that one, for EPZ should be a scheme under EPZ. So special economic zone is a scheme under export processing zone in line with the East Africa community, the CESA policy. Two, the cabinet has also approved for merger of these two programs. So going forward, we are going to merge this program into one entity, because right now there are two programs managed by two state agency. So they'll be merged. One state agency will have two programs. It's like directorates. And what we are doing to create awareness is in the strategic plan of these two agencies, we are putting some educational programs and for the public to be able to appreciate what are the benefits of this program. Both efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency in terms of cost efficiency, because we don't need two state agencies to operate two programs which look similar, right? So we are going to have one agency, so we will improve on cost efficiency, but also we are going to improve on their effectiveness, because they'll be under one roof and they'll be more sharpened to deliver the stated objective of attracting industrial investment, which is export-oriented.
But we are looking at one investor, and that is Mobius, that is planning to actually exit the market. What is your take on this?
Okay, first of all, that one, it was unfortunate, and it was also a voluntary. They are not being forced out. They are exiting themselves. And In that space, in the automotive space and the EV space, the legal framework that is there, of course, there's a legal notice 84 and the legal notice, there's another one on motorcycle that we continuously engage the stakeholders to improve it. But most importantly, we now have the automotive policy, which is very clear and predictable on the environment, and we have a bill, automotive bill, which we are just waiting for the new CS to take it to the cabinet, and then it will go to Parliament. So with that will provide the clarity, the predictability, and the level playing field in that sector, in addition to the incentives that we give. So as far as Mobius is concerned, we as government, we are putting in place strategies not only to attract investment but also to retain them.
Are there interventions that you have put in place to ensure that this does not occur?
What we've done is that we are talking to them and putting aggregating and mobilizing suites for them so that they can be taken up and acquired by other investors.
Could you give us clarity on the controversial Adani-Kenya investment partnership on the expansion of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport?
First of all, there is no hatuuzi, tunakodisha na tunashirikiana na wawekezaji wa kibinafsi ili tuweze kupeleka Kenya mbele.
But then where does the public come in? Public participation?
What I'm saying is that it is a process which is a legal process, yeah? So when we want to sell, there's a legal process which has to be followed. And I believe all the due process has been for if there's a sell. In this transaction, in this scenario, there is no sell. This scenario is a partnership, yeah? Either through leasing or through co-investment so that we can take, and there's a process. And that process was duly followed, in my view.
So there's
as a state department.
There is no going back.
I think we are doing the right thing. In my view, I think we are doing the right thing so that we can take this country to the next level.
Now, there have been investor disputes and linking county governments, and we'd want to know what steps you have taken as a department to resolve this.
Okay, when there are investor disputes between the owners of the special economic zones and counties, His Excellency the President had operationalized National Investment Council. And one of the mandate of that council is mediating or resolving such investor dispute. So yes, I received a complaint from Tatu City, and we have relayed that complaint to the National Investment Council. The council have deliberated into it, and they have given us guidance. First guidance is on to get an AG's opinion, because the problem there, I think, it is more on the interpretation of law. I'm not aware of those other issues. I'm just strictly going by what is the issue. So the issue on the master plan is the investor has interpreted it differently, and the county government has interpreted differently. So we are providing a dispute resolution mechanism to sort it out. So first we want to get the opinion of the Attorney General. What is the correct interpretation? Then from there, the National Investment Council will give us the next steps.
Among the challenges that this particular programs face is the issue and the gap between, enabling infrastructure, hospitals and schools. So what are you doing as a department to bridge this gap?
The idea should be, if a clean deal should be, we build the infrastructure, the private investor come and invest in productive enterprises, not the infrastructure. But now we are also going ahead by now attracting investors through our PPP, private-public partnership, to build, to do the infrastructure, so that they can facilitate those direct private sector investment. So what we are saying is that we are working with private sector to build the infrastructure, either through PPP or direct private investment. For example, the Naivasha, we are going to expand the Naivasha 1 to Naivasha 2, and we've gotten a private sector who will be able to develop the zone.
Has Kenya tapped into the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement in as far as matters of trade and investment is concerned?
With the FSFTA coming into place or being operationalized, or the tripartite free trade area which has come into operation now, if we don't build on our industrial capacity on certain value chain, then we will not be able to compete. Yeah, for example, the automotive sector in Africa, in North Africa, the person who is the country which is very good in that sector is Morocco. Right, in South and in South Africa, it is South Africa. Okay, that is why we want to create our niche in East and Central Africa as far as the automobile value chain is concerned. Because if we don't do that, then these two countries, which is up there, Morocco, and down there south, if we have now a market, because the aim of FSFTA is to have a common single market, right? And the goal is to increase trade, so they'll be able to take over the whole market. So we want to position ourselves, at least up there is Morocco, down there is South Africa, and then we take at least Central and East Africa.
What strategies are we applying as Kenya when it comes to, tapping markets and looking at matters of competition from other quarters for FDI?
So the outlook is very bullish. We want to take it to 50%. Okay, what we are doing, the nexus between foreign investment and domestic investment, what we want to put is the investment opportunities that we have. We want the domestic investors to seize those opportunities, and then we use foreign investors to partner. Right, and that is one way of also de-risking a foreign investor, because a foreign investor will want to come. Is this an opportunity? Why is your domestic investor not taking it up? Yeah, so that one way of de-risking it, even before government comes to the risk through a PPP or through incentives, they want to see a domestic guy also interested in that opportunity.
Going forward, where are the low-hanging fruits in as far as trade and investment is concerned?
Is in the area of textile and apparel. Yes, attracting investment in that space, and the BPO space. Yeah, those are the areas which I'm working closely with the State Department of ICT and State Department of Agriculture and Industry for the textile and apparel, and ICT for the BPO space.
Despite the positive ratings on the ease of business where Kenya is concerned, there's a general feel that doing business in Kenya is rather an uphill task. What is your take?
Basically, what we are doing as government is to attract investments. Generally, we are subsidizing production, we are incentivizing value addition, and we are de-risking private investors. Since this administration, we've been able to attract 28 enterprises within 1.5 years. That means every year we are almost doing more than 10. And out of those 28, 14, half of them come from they are in the coast region. Okay, so it shows that coast region is warming up to this EPZ program. Remember, I told you the county with the highest EPZ enterprises is Machakos, but now we are seeing coast region warming up, and the counties which are highest in terms of the enterprises in the coast is Mombasa, followed by Kilifi and Kwale. So we want to make sure that it spreads across all the 6 coastal region because of the Lamu port.
Bwana PS, parting shot.
All right, as a country, we are a hub and a gateway to East Africa and the rest of Africa. And we have got the best investment climate and business environment. And what we are telling the investors, that there's something happening in Kenya, and investors have found it out. So you either invest in Kenya or you'll be dragged along. You tag along and invest in Kenya, or you'll be dragged along.
Well, there you have it. Kenya is ready for investment. I'm Regina Manyara. You are watching KBC Channel 1.
Thank you, Regina. Regina Manyara engaging the PS in interview that took place earlier on. Two families in Kitengela are enduring a harrowing ordeal as they search for their loved ones who have gone missing under unclear circumstances. The three individuals believed to have been abducted in separate incidents have left their families desperate for answers.
The first case involves two brothers, 42-year-old Longton Jamil and 36-year-old Aslam Longton. Eyewitnesses report that on Monday, August 19th, at approximately 1:30 p.m., the brothers were intercepted just a few meters from their home by a white Subaru.
Waliona walisema ni mapolisi kutoka Nairobi walijitambulisha kuwa wametumwa kuja kuchukua ndugu yetu mmoja anaitwa Aslam. Lakini ili walipofungua gari walikutaka kumchukua, Jamil alikuwa anauliza wanampeleka wapi huyo. Sasa ile wakati wa kuulizana na yeye ndo akamchukua pia Jamil. Wakamweka nyuma ya boot ya Subaru. Witness na walikuwa hapo, witness wa pikipiki ndo waliona hiyo tukio ilipofanyika hapo.
Despite their tireless efforts to locate the brothers at various police stations, the family's attempts have yielded no results, leaving them in a state of deep distress.
DCI wanasema hawana information yote kuhusu kuchukuliwa kwa Jamil wala huyu Aslam. OCS pia amesema hiyo hivyo pia.
Machakos, Nairobi, Kajiado wote wanakataa kwamba hawajamuarrest na wote wanasema hawajamdetain.
In a separate but equally concerning incident on the same day, Bob Njagi, a 47-year-old human rights activist and chairperson of the Free Kenya movement, was abducted while traveling by bus from Nairobi to Kitengela.
Lakini kufika Mlolongo, gari hiyo ya Rembo Shuttle ilisimamishwa. Watu wakaingia ndani ya hiyo gari, walikuwa wamejifunika uso, wakaweza kumpiga, wakamchukua, wakamweka kwa Subaru. Na kutoka hiyo wakati hajaweza kuonekana tena. Kutoka hiyo wakati pia hajaweza kushika simu tena. Asubuhi, ikifikia mwendo wa asubuhi, simu yake ilikuwa imezimwa.
With their mobile phone stand off and no significant progress reported at Kitengela police station, their concern continues to grow.
Ikipiga simu yao ishiki, ni mteja. Mpaka saa hii sijaongea na Jamila ama sijapatana na yeye kitu.
Mimi ningependa niulize serikali, are we safe and who is next? Tuambiwe, tukae tukijua, sababu sasa imefikia mahali hata mtu hawezi kuishi na amani katika taifa la Kenya.
Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
Of Embu Golf Club achieved his dream of playing and qualifying for the Faldo Junior Grand Final by winning the NCBA Faldo Series Kenya Championship held at Current Country Club. Elvis played a first round score of 1 over par 71, a second round of 2 under par 70, and a final round of 3 over par 75 to finish with an aggregate of 218 gross. Elvis lost to Daniel Kiragu on a playoff in Limuru in 2022 and missed out on the 2023 edition held at Karen. The other three qualifiers include 18-year-old Antonia Mbuthia, who played 253 gross, 14-year-old Shashwat Harish, who played 220 gross, and Bianca Gesu, who played 230 gross. The three are from the Golf Club. The four have gained entry to the Faldo Junior Grand Final to be held at the AIA Equestrian Shooting and Golf Club UAE on 19th to 21st of November 2024.
I'm so grateful to win this tournament. It was my dream to win this tournament because I've lost it in 2 years consecutive, and I'm so happy to get a chance to win it in this year.
My last 3 days were good. I started off well. Playing 1 under on the first day really boosted up my confidence, and I tried to go for the lead, but on the second day kind of fell off, and the third day I collapsed. But I really tried my best, and I'm happy that I won the Faldo.
Olympic bronze medalist Mary Mora will later tonight compete in the women 800 meters at the Lausanne meet of the Diamond League series ongoing in Switzerland. Mora, who won bronze at the Paris Olympic Games, will start the 2-lap race alongside 11 other women, including Renelle Lamonte and Shafiqua Maloney, who both competed with her in the final of the Paris Olympics. Other Kenyans in Lausanne are Janet Chepngetich and Margaret Akidor, who will compete in the 3,000 meters. The highlight of the Lausanne leg tonight will be the men's 200 meters featuring Letsile Tebogo of Botswana, who won gold in the event at the Paris Games, going head-to-head with American Fred Curley.
Finally wins the title. A fabulous run from the front at the bell. Mary Mora couldn't go with her this time.
Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms. For more details on ad items and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. My name is Irene Mchumo-Dim. On sign language interpretation, we have Lucy Maura. Good afternoon. God bless you.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevatishwa.
Sio wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Lifestyle, where we bring you personal stories of individuals facing the challenges of health and wellness. I hated my baby. Those are the words of a young mother who shares her postpartum depression story with us. Phoebe Ndongo, a psychologist, demystifies mental health. And we tell you habits to practice to help you manage postpartum depression. All that's coming up on Health and Lifestyle. My name is Marie Yambo. Would also like to hear from you. Go to our social media platforms at Marie Yambo, at KBC Channel 1 on X. On Facebook, it's KBC Channel 1 TV. Share your ideas and comments on some of the topics you'd want us to cover in this program. Birth of a baby can start a variety of powerful emotions, from excitement and joy to fear and anxiety, but it can also result in something you might not expect, and that is depression. Most new moms experience postpartum baby blues within the first 2 to 3 days to even 2 weeks after birth. This may include mood swings, crying spells, anxiety, and even difficulty sleeping. But some new moms experience a more severe, long-lasting form of depression known as postpartum depression. So what is postpartum depression? It is depression that occurs after childbirth. According to the World Health Organization, it is characterized by prolonged feeling of sadness, anxiety, worry that can last up to 12 months after delivery. It affects approximately 10 to about 20% of women worldwide. It can lead to serious health risks for mother and infant, and the mother can also suffer greater risk of major depression later on in life. Treatment for postpartum depression can include counseling, antidepressants, or hormone therapy. Some of the symptoms of postpartum depression include insomnia, lack of sleep that is, persistent crying, withdrawing from family and friends, doubting your ability as a good mother, thoughts of harming yourself or your baby, and loss of appetite, irritability, feeling overwhelmed, difficulty bonding with your baby is also another major red flag. Jackie, not her real name, had always dreamt of completing her degree and pursuing a career in communication. But life had a different plan for her. Her world was turned upside down when she found out she was expectant. Here is her story of courage and resilience in the face of postpartum depression. In her second year of university, Jackie discovered she was pregnant. Abandoned by her boyfriend, shock, fear, and uncertainty flooded her mind.
Of course, the pregnancy was not planned, and the baby daddy was not responsible and was not ready to take care of that pregnancy and me. So when COVID came, I had to go back home because all schools were closed. And so while at home, I could reach out to him, and all he could do is cut my calls and also blue tick me on WhatsApp, blue tick my text messages.
Faced with the daunting reality of motherhood, she made the difficult decision to tell her mother about the unexpected turn in her life.
When I went back home, a neighbor came and she was crying and telling my mom that her daughter had come home from her marriage simply because she gets pregnant and the pregnancy dissolves at 4 months. So I took that opportunity and told my mom, you know what, I'm pregnant. And so the neighbor was like, don't dare do an abortion to your baby, because I did that when my daughter was in high school in Form 3. And you can see what is happening right now. She cannot sustain her marriage because of that. She cannot have kids.
As she navigated through the challenges of pregnancy, Jackie found herself overwhelmed by a whirlwind of emotions after giving birth. Postpartum depression settled in like a heavy fog, casting a shadow over her once bright spirit. She struggled to bond with her baby.
My mom used to sleep with my baby. My mom used to take my baby for clinics. Like, I didn't want to associate myself with him. I will say that if it wasn't for my mom, maybe I would have done something bad to me and to my baby, because I hated my baby. I truly hated him. I hated an innocent soul. My mama was always telling me that this is not the end of life. You have to wake up and go and start again. I know you will do it. You will do it for yourself, for the sake of your baby.
But through it all, Jackie refused to give up. She enrolled back in college. Her journey through postpartum depression was a roller coaster of highs and lows.
I was a student, I had no cash, I had no one to support me, but my mom was there. But you know, as a young girl who is pregnant, you also want the one who is responsible to take part in that pregnancy journey, but he was not there. I will call him and tell him that, okay, my mommy wants diapers, my mommy, okay, the baby needs food, things like those ones. And so he will just ignore me, ignore my text, ignore my calls, blue tick the text. And so I guess that truly, that situation even affected my studies, because it reached a time when I wouldn't even go to class. One of my lecturers noted me being absent from school and reached out to me. And I opened up to him. He was very understanding, and I remember he gave me 1,000 bob to send my mom that day. Okay, after that, he asked me if I would really like to visit a counselor who can help me cope up with everything that I'm going through.
With the support of her family and a compassionate therapist, she began to heal.
By that time, when I was going to that counselor, I guess the depression was on a very high note, because sometimes I would just fall down when walking. And so it was, okay, when I started the counseling sessions, on that first day I was like, I didn't know even what to talk to her. I remember I had to write what I was going through on a piece of paper and gave that piece of paper to her to read for herself. Yeah, it was that bad.
Was that the worst?
Yeah, I couldn't even talk. I just wrote everything that I was going through and gave it to her.
And as her baby grew, so did she. In her son, she discovered a newfound sense of purpose.
My baby is the best thing that has ever happened to my life. And I don't regret being with him. But what I regret is the fact that I hated him. And I truly feel bad for that. And let me say, he's the reason why I'm pushing myself every day to be better. Yeah, I have a reason to wake up in the morning and do what I love.
Joining us on Healthy Living. Stay connected to Voice of America at voanews.com. A look at your kidneys and how they impact your health. And an expert discusses chronic kidney disease and how to protect yourself. And Ivorian psychologist Noor Bakayoko shares some insights on bullying and what can be done.
It's important to avoid major events or major health crises.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day. Statistically, there are higher risk factors to pregnancies over the age of 40. And of course, the risk factors keep increasing the older the woman gets.
So apart from IVF, you really need to see a fertility specialist, first of all, to find what your specific problem is.
The first test I did showed that I had a fibroid that was sitting on top of my uterus. So actually, I could not carry a baby to term.
It was not easy because I had
3 instances of miscarriages, and I had 1 forced pregnancy.
I gave birth to my firstborn when I was 37, secondborn 38, thirdborn 43, healthy children, smooth pregnancy. So I'm just here to encourage someone.
Ever crazy.
Can childbirth lead to depression? Well, that's the question that we pose to the public. Here are their reactions on Word on the Streets.
Personally, I think yes, it can lead to depression because the process of giving birth is not easy. So for the mother, the type of giving birth, maybe CS or normal birth, it can lead to such depression, and hapo ndio atashindwa hadi kunyonyesha the child. Yeah.
Yes. Let's say like when a mother gets pregnant and the father decided to abandon the mother, now when the mother gave birth to the child, it can lead to depression due to lack of money of bringing up the child. Yeah, something like that.
I can't basically say I know India's answer because we have seen some mothers undergo depression after giving birth to children. And I think that they need support from friends, families to support them so they can overcome postpartum depression.
Yeah, I think it can. Due to various reasons, maybe the changes that women undergo after birth in their bodies, that can also lead to depression. So I think it can lead to depression.
You're bringing somebody new, like mostly parents, mostly the mothers, they don't know how they can handle the child, what they need. Kumlea too in all, like it comes with challenges and responsibility. That's why I think most mothers go for postnatal depression.
Febe Ndongo is a counseling psychologist. She shares her expertise on mental health on how to guide people going through hard times. Who then is at risk? Because not all women go through postpartum depression.
There are many factors. There's a pregnancy that came, maybe you were not prepared for it. Probably something along the way during this pregnancy change. You could have, maybe it was that you're going through the pregnancy issues, you were getting sick, you are vomiting and all that comes with pregnancy. Another thing that could be happening, maybe if you have an unsupportive partner, you got pregnant and maybe along the way they denied or else they're no longer together. Then could be you also had the pregnancy was really traumatic. Like you did not expect to go to a CS and all of a sudden you saw yourself in theater and all that. And the trauma that comes with now long labor, hard labor, those are some of the facts. And then also you could have, probably you had a pre-existing condition, depression actually. And so you're here and you've gotten pregnant. This could also be an add-up of maybe a build-up of now making it worse when you're pregnant, or rather when you've already given birth.
How do you differentiate between, just mood swings, it's just a change of mood, and when do you actually say this is a serious case of postpartum depression?
Normally, any woman who gets a baby, they get excited, or else they are thought to. They need to be excited. It's a bouncing baby girl, bouncing baby boy. But then there are a lot of surprises that come with this baby. Remember when this woman was pregnant, they were waiting for this baby. But when this baby comes, does not come with the expectation that they had. You can look at this tiny baby and feel so hopeless. Like, will you manage to be the mother that you're supposed to be? You'll feel like you are hopeless yourself. And then, of course, because of what is happening in your body, sometimes you'll feel guilty. Sometimes you'll feel you're not doing enough as a mother. And then, of course, you'll feel, there are those moments you'll feel withdrawn. Remember, sometimes you're just alone with this baby at home. So there are those moments of feeling lonely. There's those moments of just going all kind of emotion. Yeah, you, of course, also your body is trying to retain or to go back to where it was. So you'll be at that place of maybe you're going through, if it is breastfeeding, you're not able to breastfeed this baby very well. Your appetite has shifted. Then you're looking at your body and you're thinking, oh, I've grown just too big. And of course, where does that put you? Is that this is not me. So instead of wanting and bonding with this child, they're already tired. Yeah, they're already tired. They feel like this is a child that has caused me to be this big. This is a child that has caused me to, probably my face has changed. I have this baby fat and all that. So they are the cause, or else they are to blame for where this lady is.
So how then do you go about, supporting, or can I say managing? Because I don't know that say it's treating, but managing postpartum depression.
From experience, I think a number of them, when they come for session, they don't know what's happening. And so you will try to do what we call psychoanalysis. Like, when did it start? Then you realize that a number of them had either a condition, or if not that, the pregnancy was a trauma in itself. So we listen. What we do, we listen. We listen to anything they say. If they tell you they don't feel like bathing, they don't want to see the baby, what we do, we don't judge. So you'll be at a place of listening. And it's in listening, you will be able to, she'll feel safe. You create this safe place where they can say and they can talk anything and everything that they are going through. So from there, we are able now to diagnose. Is it a medical? Is it psychotherapy? So if it's medical, we refer. And if it's psychotherapy, then now we do talk therapy. So, and this, of course, we create many sessions where this lady is able to talk it out. She's able, without feeling judged.
So, but when it's about talk therapy, when it's just counseling, what exactly are you aiming at achieving when you're talking to this patient?
You see, in listening, you are able to assess so much. And then, because you start from when did it start, you realize a number of them, either they wanted the gender. They wanted a boy, a girl came. They wanted a girl, a boy came. Then, of course, the financial constraint. Some of them will, the expectation were not met. Some of them, they will even tell you, I was forced to this. Yeah, so my finding will be more of why, not really why, making meaning of what is happening. Yeah, making meaning. So I'll help you, support you into finding meaning of why you are in this situation. See, a number of them will be blaming themselves. And like I say, postpartum can happen to anyone. They're rich, they're educated. So you'll be at a place, first of all, normalizing. You are not bad. You're not a bad mother. I mean, this is just a condition. And so in talking, I'll be geared into helping you. Where do you want to be?
I'm sure in your practice you've come, I know, across very many, can I say, cases of postpartum depression. Could you just share with us briefly one of the worst, cases that you've ever come across?
There's this lady who came to my office, and they were having marital issues with the husband. And of course, I listened to both of them separately. And so the husband would tell me this, and the lady would tell me this. But they're carrying this baby with them. And the lady kept on crying. And so when the husband left, she opened up. And she told me, where I am, I feel I don't deserve to live. And you see, she has the baby there. And she confessed that at one time, she felt like both of them, her and the baby, they don't deserve to live. And why she felt unsupportive. The husband is going, actually, this is a time that she's even coming late. And just even the husband is also going through his own path, coming and getting home to this baby who is crying every other time. So the lady at that point, she feels lonely, she feels unwanted. and she feels then she does not deserve to live. And then she was also in this position where her figure was good, but now all of a sudden the stomach and everything. And at that time, I think she told me, I don't think I need to live. So that's the worst. Because she was suicidal, I would say. And suicidal is also real on ladies who are going through postpartum depression, because at that time they also feel like ending the children also. So they want to die and they also want to they want to kill the children.
So you talked about somebody being suicidal. Yes. Can this explain why sometimes you find a woman deciding to, can I say, take her own life and take the life of the children or the child, and people don't really understand why somebody would want to do that?
Yes, because postpartum being a depression, so it's all about the mind. So it's a mental well-being. And you see, at that time when you're not okay, anything can happen. You know, you're not at your right mind. So your mind will throw you everywhere. And so actually one of the things that I'm happy is that there are bodies that are coming up in supporting these women, because they're calling it maternal mental wellness. So that this is specifically for women. And in our country, it's happening. So any lady who feel, hopefully it's going to develop with time, and they're going to have a call number where any lady is at home and feeling this suicide or feeling all this kind of emotion, they can call and get support.
How important is a support system for a woman during pregnancy and even after pregnancy?
Now, support system is very key here. I would say that any family that they have this person, a lady who is, for that matter, who has given birth, they need your support. Just be there. Let them not feel like now they have been resigned to fate. Nowadays, we are having what you're calling baby reveal. All the pink, all the blue. I wish the same crowd would be in the houses of these ladies once they give birth, so that they can just be there to laugh with them, take coffee, take biscuits, so that she not feel left out and feel like now she has resigned to be just a mother and not the person that she was. So motherhood is good, but then we need to do more education on what postpartum depression is.
Some of the tips that you can inculcate to, number one, navigate or prevent postpartum depression. Well, a history of depression is one of them. Do you have a history of depression? It will be important for you to share with your doctor so that they know how to manage you in case you go through postpartum depression, or even to prevent it for that matter. Manage stress and build supportive networks. This just means that at least have a supportive, network with you, whether it's friends or relatives, someone you can share your difficult times with, and that will help you navigate or even prevent postpartum depression. Learning about mental health and well-being, well, just like learning about any health condition, learning about mental health and well-being will help you to spot some of the symptoms we've talked about here in as far as postpartum depression is concerned, and that will also help you to prevent postpartum depression and will look after your mental health, and that is another important aspect in as far as preventing postpartum depression. While exercise and balanced diet is an important aspect of health and lifestyle, and while it's important for overall health, that also means that it's important for your mental health. Have a balanced diet. That just means have at least a diet that is with carbs, proteins, vegetable fruits, and healthy fats. Also, physical activity. The World Health Organization does recommend 30 minutes of physical activity for adults, at least 5 days a week. That will also help you to prevent mental health issues, and in this particular instance, postpartum depression. And these activities could include walking, cycling, swimming, even going to the gym or dancing, or whatever other activity that you may enjoy. Well, this will also help you to maintain, a healthy body weight, and can also improve your mental health. That does it for the show today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Remember, you can always interact with us on our social media platforms at Marie Yambo at KBC Channel 1 on X. Facebook is KBC Channel 1 TV. You can also get more details if you've missed any part of this program on our YouTube channel. Be sure to share your ideas on what topics you'd want us to talk about on this show. My name is Marie Yambo, and I hope to see you next time.
Mtazamaji, tumekuandalia taarifa zinazogonga vichwa vya vyombo vya habari kutoka hapa jijini Nairobi na pia mashinani.
Wanahabari zaidi ya ubora wao wako ange kukuletea habari pindi zinapochipuka kutoka pembe zote za Kenya.
Kwenye kipindi cha Tamrini tunakuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja kufafanua na kuangazia masuala yanayokuhusu wewe mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, taarifa yenye thamani daima hupokewa kwa amani.
Hivyo basi usikose kuungana nasi kila siku ya wiki.
Tukupakulie na tukutaarifu taarifa yenye mnato kwenye runinga unayoienzi. Kwenye kurunzi mashinani,
sisi DC.
I am Lord now. Atito, I am never coming to clean your house again. You can now clean your smelling gym clothes, you are smelling in bathroom, you are smelling in kitchen, you are smelling everything.
Shut up! Oh, better hope. You better let me know tomorrow so that I can bring you women clothing. You join the women's club. You win.
Julia, Julia.
Amo.
You win. Now, this thing need patience and precision. When you go in too fast, of course, you will get tired very easily.
Too much speaking. Where are we going to get the grab and show us the action?
They say kutembea kwingi, kuona mengi. Uopie kime.
Ever crazy. Undoubtedly entertaining. And mind-boggling. The savage netizens capturing that unique moment.
Listen to the radio. Oh, listen to the radio.
Everyone considered him the coward of the county.
I just don't wanna say too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. Nobody gets too much heaven, no, no. It's much harder